This is the Challenge USA.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Right Reality Podcast. Long time no see. My name is Stephen.
And my name is Mixie. We are back and better than ever.
Are we?
Not better than ever. Not better than ever.
Are we?
I take a week and a half off, and I cannot form words. This happens every time we take a break. I come back, and I am an absolute train wreck of a host.
Be careful what you say, because people will be like, well, then just don't take a break. And we're like,
that's
you
fair.
Shut your damn mouths. You shut your damn mouths.
You know, I didn't want to take a break. It hurt me, and it hurt Steven too. We cried about it. Honestly, I fell asleep crying, thinking about it. But now we're back to recap episode 8 of the Challenge USA Independence Day. Back to the shitty titles.
Back to loving America. Let's go, America.
Woo! Built for tough.
Made in the USA.
American Pie.
American Pie the movie.
No, that's not. You're cheating.
American
Barbecues. Cheeseburgers. Red,
French
white,
fries.
and blue.
damn
French
it.
fries are French.
Spaghetti.
Shit.
Take out Chinese food.
Maybe. That one maybe.
Yeah. Ramen?
Nah, shit.
Probably not. Well, welcome back, everybody. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. We are now on video on the YouTube for the challenge. Welcome to the video game. God, we look so good. It's ridiculous.
It is.
You know.
It's kind of distracting, but get over it, guys. We're not going to manifest, even though we can because we're hot. We aren't going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the camera right now. I'm looking over here. Oh, God, look at myself. So hot.
Distracting.
You know what? This is the opportunity. My hair looks good, everything. This is my one. Hold on. I got to go to my desk drawer. I have my list of manifesting things here.
I'd love to hear
I ever got hot. I don't think I can read these on air. They're going back in the drawer. Let
me know if they ever come true.
Okay, will do. So what we have to do at the beginning of every episode now, Mixie, is we have to ask ourselves the biggest question so far of this season. It continues every week. Mm-hmm. Is this season still good?
You know, Steven, I think it is. And I am struggling because I'm so used to hating the Challenge USA that it's hard for me to... It's not that I'm not enjoying it. It's just a different type of enjoyment. It's like actual real enjoyment and not hate watching something. And my brain is still just kind of like, where's Sarah? We hate her. Why isn't she here? Like, what's going on? But I'm getting used to it. And I feel like we're at a point now, episode 8, we can say that the Challenge USA is good.
I never thought we'd see the day, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
This is also the time of the season where we usually just check out. And I'm sure the hotties agree. I'm sure everybody else is agreeing. Like, I don't want to be the podcast that reviews the show we don't like. But this is honestly, usually episode 8, we're just like, get us to the last 3 episodes. Mm-hmm. Just get us to the last 3 episodes. And part of me this episode, I'm still liking it. But I'm so used to doing that my brain is also going, oh, we should just get to the final. I'm like, I don't want to be there yet because this is still good. And I'm still surprised.
I feel like there's still good storylines and we're not dragging things out. New things are coming in. There's twists that are happening that aren't like, oh, well, you know, this team was doing so great that they had to add this twist. I do think that might have been a little bit of it. But I do think this was planned already because the eliminations and the daily this week were so good. Like, they were thought out. They were planned. It wasn't like a monkey wrench was thrown into the mix and we had to completely pivot. It was very well done.
Don't get me started on that elimination yet.
Oh.
Do not get me started on that elimination yet.
Steven, I was so excited. They put a time code on the bottom. I was like, Steven's got to be shitting his pants right now. A time code? We know how long they were doing it for?
It was, let me try to find the right adjective here. Majestic.
Ooh. Like a little unicorn.
Mm-hmm. Right at the bottom of the screen. Right in the corner.
shitting out a time code with rainbows.
Yeah. It just popped its little unicorn horn out and was like, "Remember me?" And I was like, "What? What was that? Is that a time code? Oh, what? Was that a unicorn time code?"
No.
And it's like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." And then it like popped back up later. I go, "It's right there."
I saw it again.
I saw it again. I felt like the Leonardo DiCaprio GIF meme. He's like, "Whoop, whoop, right there, right there." That was me. I was like, "Time code." I was like, "This means this is going very long," and it did. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But we left off the week we did not recap by ending up learning that we are now in an individual game. Our good old-fashioned mid-season twist is here.
Yep.
All the team colors are gone. The teams you were allegedly on while also being on 3 other teams are gone.
Yes.
I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss being on blue team, but also being on Team Survivor, but then also being in an alliance
of the garden with every girl that exists on the show.
How long did that last? That lasted 1 episode, right? They never brought that up again. It was never like that name never came up in another episode.
I will say this is 2 for 2 of the Challenge USA of there being some random alliance that lasts maybe 24 hours and then completely implodes. There was like the Party of 4 or some weird shitty alliance last time, or the Core 4 or the girls. I don't know. It was awful, but it didn't.
Keep going. Keep naming other names. Keep making them up.
The Powerpuff
Connect
Gang.
4.
Yeah.
The Fantastic 4. Powderpuff Gang.
The Operation Twisters. Yeah.
The 7 continents that everybody clearly can name.
I don't like that you brought that up here. And I would just like to ask everyone if they were given 8 minutes on the clock with no list of the states and a blank map of the United States, how many states do you feel like you could do? And then I want you to subtract 10 because that's how many you actually can do.
I would challenge the hotties to print off a map at home, maybe have your children do it with you, and I would like you to take the quiz and then submit the number of correct answers. Maybe have your significant other time you and make sure you're not cheating, right?
It wasn't timed. It was in a time constraint. If you had given me timed, I wouldn't have put Oklahoma in 12 places when you said there was 1 minute left, because I had a general idea of where Oklahoma was.
Do I currently on YouTube pop your map up?
I'm not embarrassed because...
Okay, pop it up right now. Look at all of the Oklahomas.
It was honestly a challenge strategy move right there. By hitting the last minute, knowing Oklahoma was in a general area and just throwing it everywhere in that spot. Do I know there's only one Oklahoma? For the record, yes, I do know that. But I had 60 seconds left and I couldn't think of any other states and I knew it was somewhere over there. And honestly, Wes would do the same.
I believe that your Oklahomaing, which I'm now going to refer to, is not nearly as bad as you who, while doing this podcast, lived in New York and did not get New York and New Jersey correct.
There's a lot of little islands over there.
New York is a big state.
I got Ohio. Okay. And I got Texas, and I've never lived in Texas. So good for me. Also, for the record, everybody, I beat everyone at the office because Stephen wasn't playing. I beat everyone at the office. And I would also...
I flipped New Hampshire and Vermont. Those are my only 2 misses. I flipped New Hampshire and Vermont.
Yeah, you didn't count as a contender because you felt confident. I only played against people that did not feel confident.
There was also 2 other people who did this at the office, and Mixie won with, what was your final score? Let me see again. 18. 18 was the winning amount.
I don't feel like that's that bad.
We had an 18, a 13, and a 12. And one of those people is Mixie.
I think that the Challenge USA should put 8 minutes on a clock and have people fill out a map of the United States. That seems very on brand.
Yeah, I think they should.
I would lose in the elimination, but they should do it.
Noted. It's an individual game, so you'd be on your own at this point.
I would be fucked. I would really, really be fucked. But I think that would be a hilarious daily, is if they just had to fill out the map of the United States.
I would like to see the hotties do that. Post how many you got with a photo of your map.
8
in
minutes.
The comments.
8 minutes. No list of states, just an empty map.
That is absolutely correct.
No
Let's
cheating.
See how well you can do.
Well, let's get into Independence Day.
Yeah.
The first 10 minutes was something that the challenge does that I hate, which is they just all talk about the exact same thing and talk about how it's going to be a game changer and how it's going to mix things up. I am well aware.
We've watched the show. We got it.
You know what mixed me up, Stephen? How Chris was laying across those beds. We need to have a conversation about it. I don't know if you caught it, but it was awful. So I'm going to paint a picture, and hopefully you can get a picture up on the screen for everyone else that is watching. There were 2 beds. You know how they have their beds like in a line?
Yes.
So he had his top half of his body on this bed. Then his knees were down like this, and then his feet were up on the other bed.
Go lay on the couch, my guy.
Lay on the bed like a normal human being. You just turn your body and you're on the bed. I paused it and I just kept going, his lower back's got to be absolutely annihilated right now.
Maybe he was doing that because he was sore and he thought that would be some good plyometric stretching.
Honestly, if I was in that room and I saw Chris doing that, I would say that he is, what did Bananas refer to Alyssa as? A layup?
A layup.
Chris is a layup now, in my opinion, just because of the way he strewed his body across those 2 beds.
That was the first mistake Chris made, was this bed situation. The second one, since we're talking about Chris and all the bonehead decisions Chris made, Chris thought, oh, I'll let Josh just go ahead with the answer because he'll get me one for later.
Yeah, Josh.
No, he won't. No, he won't. Your individual game. I immediately said, Chris is not winning this show.
No.
Chris cannot win this show because if you make decisions like that, you should legally not be allowed to win the show. They'd be like, yeah, you won. However, you said you would trust Josh to give you one later when you're not Fessel. Okay? If Baby Hulk said that, I'd be like, okay, I got it. But Chris, no. You don't get that, sir. I'm very sorry. You do not get that.
Speaking of Baby Hulk, I completely forgot he was on this show until he had a little speech before the Daily. I was like, oh, that's right, Baby Hulk's on this show.
They've done a very good job of burying him on the show.
Is it the show that's doing that? Or is it his painting, like a wall drying, paint on a wall drying personality?
I think it's that. I think he has realized that he is going way into the CT game plan, which is just lay around and try not to say much and play 2 different groups of people. And so far, it's working out great. He was on a team so he could get kind of play a little bit of that. He was on another team and another team because everybody's on 3 or 4 teams here.
Yeah, he was.
And so I think that was his gameplay. But you're right. I was like, oh, yeah, Baby Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I
forgot about that guy.
I think he's been keeping his dick in his pants. Or his baby dick in his Baby Hulk costume. And that's been kind of helping him. But I think you're giving him too much credit by comparing him to CT. I don't think he's doing this on purpose. I think he just isn't interested in fucking any of the girls that are there right now. And so therefore there's just nothing to show of Baby Hulk.
Well, I think he's already done 2 of them. So he's just like,
yeah, they're old news.
Yeah, they're old news. And then, it is what it is. Speaking of very attractive women that people would want to sleep with, my girl Alyssa S. What a spotlight for her this week. She looked, every time she was on camera, I thought she looked more attractive.
Oh, she's stunning.
God.
I would flip that as though if I were her, I would be embarrassed.
Oh, okay.
By what happened this week. She cried to the guy that she just started hooking up with. Mm-hmm. Okay. You're emotional. Understand. Then she just was like, oh, you're going to go into elimination and have everybody try to vote a guy in for me? Cool. I'm going to sit back. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You're going to just let this guy do all of the work and you're just going to sit there and look pretty, which you are. I'm not going to act like you're not. But it's just not a good look in my opinion. As a strong, independent woman, you don't need no man to put other balls in a bunny so that you don't have to go and put balls on a spinny spool. That's just how I feel about the situation.
First of all, very well deconstructed there. Can you imagine the chaos of having Alyssa do that elimination with
Cassidy?
With Cassidy?
I think it would have doubled the time. Yeah.
They'd be like, sorry, this episode's delayed because we're still filming.
I was a little concerned during that elimination that they were gonna call it.
I thought that might happen too. Honestly, I really thought that might happen.
Has that happened in the past?
I mean, I don't know.
Not that, to your knowledge.
I think there was once a situation where they were doing an elimination and it went like multiple rounds. I don't know why my first thing goes to Derek and Joss doing like a tug-of-war thing or a pole wrestle, and they're like, okay, we're going to make the ring smaller, or you only have to do it X number of times now or something like that, where they were like, it went from a best of 5 to a best of 1 real quick or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's happened before, but I don't recall. And I also don't think they would show that they changed the rules in the middle of it.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. It's like, well, they wouldn't be showing it to us at this point. And they test those, right? Like they test it before?
They apparently do test them, but I don't know who tested these because this was insane.
The daily and the elimination tested these.
Oh my God. But you know what? I'll say this. I enjoyed the fact that all of them could not see, because that gave us the opportunity to see, are these people who are now individuals going to help each other like some of them said they were, or are they really going to play it as an individual game? And I love that we got both, but I and then the elimination was insane as well. So I like that. Sometimes the dailies are, what's our favorite one? Just drive a car out of the back of another car.
Yeah, Or jump from one moving car to the other moving car.
And then wave at the camera. And put a key in and turn the key and smoke goes off.
Random explosion.
Oh, love a random explosion on this show.
But you know what we did get this episode?
Huh.
Mr. TJ yelling by a body of water.
That's how I knew this was going to be a banger of an episode.
You knew it. As soon as I saw the water, I was like, he's going to yell so well by that body of water.
God. And then he put his sunglasses on to honk the horn. Oh, what a absolute great way to start that daily.
Yeah.
What I was wanted to hit on with Alyssa S was, while she was crying into the comfort of Tyler's, what I can only imagine is soft hands, she said, lying, I'm looking at the screen now to make sure I read this off correctly. Lying, cheating, and manipulating people is not my game. Now, it probably is not, because, again, as we've gone over multiple times on this show, you're hot. You don't necessarily need to do those things. Okay?
Yeah.
That's reserved for us medium and lower class people who need to do those things to get ahead because we can't manifest because we're not hot. Okay?
Yes.
So I was like, okay, I'll take her at her word. She's hot. I get it. You're very cute. And then I was like, hold on a second. Were you not on Big Brother? I believe that's the catch line of Big Brother.
Is it?
No, but I think it should be. Like, you asked to be on Big Brother. You didn't just, like, walk into a house and they close the door and they go, we got you fuckers, you're on Big Brother. She's like, oh, I don't like to lie, cheat, or manipulate people. Like, you signed up to go on that show knowing what it was.
Yeah. And I'd argue this show as well. You signed up to go onto this show as well.
Yes, and this show is less of that
Uh-huh.
as it relates to Big Brother because you for certain have to do that. And that's why Josh did so well on that show. I was always sitting there going, how did Josh win Big Brother? And then I was like, oh, you got to lie, cheat, and manipulate people. He does really good at that. He's really good at that.
He is pretty good at that.
Yeah, he's good at that.
He's doing it to Chris.
What an idiot. Oh, God. Oh, God. He's like, yeah, Josh, you go ahead. And I was like, what are you doing, bro?
Speaking of idiotic things.
Yes, go.
You know that we love BMX legend, Hall of Famer, Mr. Who sometimes handles Mr. TJ Lavin.
Yeah.
But when he said, and I quote, "This word puzzle has a lot of words in it," I really was concerned. Again, there are times where this man does not explain the rules enough, but telling me that a word puzzle has a lot of words in it seems pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, and listen, I would like to step in as his non-existent attorney at law and just try to make a plea. Maybe there were a lot of words in that were unrelated to the general thesis of the puzzle, like bananas or chicken salad, maybe. Who knows? Raisinets. I don't know, right?
Chicken salad apparently can be in anything, though. Apparently, you can make anything into chicken salad, according to you in your explanation of it. But continue.
Yeah, and science and the internet and what everybody told you. Anywho, so I thought maybe those were going to be like other words buried, and we rest our case. Your witness. Lawyered. Got you good. You got nothing. The judges ruled in our favor.
What just happened? Objection.
Too late. Argumentative.
Leading the
Too
witness.
late.
Leading the witness.
Too late. There was no witness. I was just giving an opening statement.
Hearsay.
It's like you didn't even go to law school or something like that.
I didn't go to law school. My cat did. Anyways.
Attorney at law, Walter.
Speaking of cats.
Oh.
Did you get cats when they showed? Well, first of all, we couldn't see shit in that ocean.
I appreciated not seeing shit. I like that.
It was nice. They went deep with it. They were just like, fuck it. We're going to make this challenge basically impossible, and you have to go guess.
I think they sent a diver down just before the people started going, and they're like, how about you just like kick up all the sand on the bottom, so just like doesn't allow them to see.
Really
That'd
murk it up.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our girl Cassidy's the first one down. She goes down, holds her breath like a champ, sees that it's cats, and she goes, fuck it. I'm going to go up there. And I'm not going to tell anybody what it was, right? Or did she? Hold on. I'm blanking. Did she guess cats? Did she go back and guess it, right?
I believe she saw panther, and that was all she saw, and she was like, it's got to be cats.
Okay.
I'm assuming that before they got in the water, they were told how many letters it is.
Well, maybe, yeah.
On the lockbox, because it wasn't like anybody was swimming and being like, I'm going to guess xylophone. You know what I mean? Like, that would be
tough.
They were all in, I think Tori later said she saw Broadway, and she was like, it's either cars or cats, which is the same amount of letters. So I feel like they were given a little bit of information.
Also, cars or cats when you see Broadway? How about play? Cars.
I feel like that information was changed, and that's not what she was thinking when she swam to that lockbox.
I mean, I'm going to tend to agree with you.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. No, Cassidy didn't share. And then Alyssa S. ended up beating her with
Shocking.
I don't remember what guy won in that heat, but
shocking.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Now, did you like the move of her not telling anybody in that moment?
I mean, yeah, I could, or I think maybe if I was in that situation, depending on who was in the heat with me and what 5 alliances I was a part of, I would probably like get the attention of the guy. I wouldn't announce it to the other girl I'm competing against, but I would probably get the attention of the guy out of the 2 guys that I was going against and try to be like, cats, meow. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think I would have tried to do something like that just because I think if she had another person with her when she was standing at that puzzle in the cave for so long,
would have helped.
She might have been able to come back and gotten that second lock.
I feel like she was in that cave for too long not to understand what that next one was.
There was no unicorn timer, so I don't know. They made that first run seem forever, and then they made the second run seem like it was like nothing.
Well, Johnny Bananas is an open water scuba certified type of person.
Yeah.
So, of course, he would have done that. You for scuba? Bananas for scuba?
He said that, and then but as he's jumping off, I was sitting there like, I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering correctly, Bananas got a ticket to a movie premiere for a certain movie about shoes and snatches, I believe. So I feel like he should have a leg up to know that the word
paw up.
Oh.
A paw up. Wow.
A claw up, potentially. Wow. But he seemed to have gotten it very quickly. And I was sitting there like, then did they just like blow that first group out of the water? They must have, right?
That first group, well, I had to be. They weren't even in contention. It was like him and Josh, right? Mm-hmm. And then Tori was in his group. And Tori then beasted the second part.
Tori was in Wes's group, not Bananas.
Oh, that's right, because there was 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I forget who was with Bananas.
Chanel was in that group, right?
Maybe that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. She ended up winning the group, and I appreciate the work by the editor who was like, she's going to win this heat, but let me show her like gagging on water, nearly drowning before she wins the heat, because let's just stick it to her.
You know, that caught my attention as well, because later in the episode, the girls were talking about how Chanel, Desi, and Michaela were like the 3 strong girls to look out for. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the edit that they're showing us is very specific. I am not seeing Chanel being a good competitor. There's nothing I've seen from her strategy-wise, gameplay-wise, even just like the social aspect of it. I'm not seeing any of that from her.
I don't believe so either. And the only thing I can think of, because, well, let's talk about that part now since we're here. I have to assume it's because they're the 3 leftover people from the non-alliance alliance that will not be named on this podcast.
Well, are they?
Well, let's go on who's left, right?
Uh-huh.
So we have, because I did this earlier today, because it was like, how many ladies are left at this point?
Yeah.
So it's the 3 of them.
Uh-huh.
Tori.
Yeah.
Alyssa S.
Uh-huh.
And then our 6th and final is Michelle.
Yes.
So there's and Cassidy. Sorry. So there's 7 left. So basically what they were saying at that point, though, you take those 4 people out. You have Alyssa, Cassidy, and Michelle are the quote-unquote weak people left.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me either. I would take Michelle and probably Cassidy over not
Chanel.
Desi. Chanel and maybe Michaela. Michaela won that elimination.
Yeah, but it was...
Tiffany lost the elimination.
Yeah, that's
she
really
won
more what
She
happened.
was the other person there. You know? And yes, was she nailing them? Yes. But, I mean, honestly, I haven't seen what else she can do at this point.
I think at least Michaela has some sort of strategy, and Cassidy has even said that she kind of fucked herself on the strategy by being like, fuck you, Wes, which was not smart at all. But yeah, the Chanel thing doesn't make any sense to me. Michelle was in the secret garden. I remember what it was called. Michelle was in the secret garden. Michelle was in the Garden of Eden, and the rest of them were in there. I think the only people that weren't in there were Cassidy and Tori.
It was just Cassidy and Tori because it was everybody except the vet women and then Cassidy.
Yeah.
I think Michelle is the outlier in that group. Because we clearly saw, I don't think they're working together anymore, but, you know, when you're on 18 different alliances,
It gets confusing.
the Venn diagram intersects at a lot of places.
Overlaps.
Overlaps, that's the word I'm going for.
Succubus, you know?
Touche. Well done. Since we were talking about that move, I feel like I don't see how this really helps Tori at all. I understand that she's got, I guess, 3 opportunities to get saved if any of those ladies win, like next week. But also, I don't know if I trust them not to put me in.
I agree.
I just won the last season, and these girls are thick as thieves. I think they look at the other women and go, yo, why would we want Tori? Like, we want 4 strong women? No, give me 3 and give me some of the others that we know we can beat. At least one of us is potentially going to win at this point. I think this was more from Banana's move of being like, I can have a strong lady probably in the final because as long as I'm there, I'm not competing against them. I'm competing against the other guys.
I will never understand these vets like following Bananas blindly and not like questioning anything he's doing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, how many years has he been doing this? How many has he won? Like, come on. At the end of the day, he's not only looking out for you. And you got to start recognizing that. And Michaela said something at the beginning of the episode where she was like, oh, I wanted to work with Wes, but I didn't trust he would stick his neck out for me. Which I get. But you think Bananas would?
I think if it suits him like this is, maybe.
Yeah.
But, it goes back to what we were saying about Chris. In front of whom? Chris and Michaela? Like, you're not ahead of Tori. You're not going to be ahead of Michelle, I don't think.
Nope.
Like, I get that you have to kind of play nice so you're not pissing somebody off, and then he can go, well, never mind. We're just going to throw her in because, you know, she talked to me.
Yeah, one time.
Earlier, like Wes voting Cassidy in later in the episode.
Hilarious.
Oh.
Wes was 2 for 2 this episode. Wes telling everybody on the sidelines that they were going to work as a team and him getting the answer and then just not being like, sorry, nope, and diving right back in. I was dead. And then he voted for Cassidy again. I was like, this man is an icon. He better not retire like he was teasing he was going to. I will be so upset. What an icon. And to go out on the Challenge USA, Wes, come on. At least do it on the flagship.
I will say this. I will allow Wes to retire in 2 circumstances. 1, he wins this season.
Okay.
He wins, he can go.
Okay, that's fair.
2, it's him and Bananas in the final, and those are the 2 strong competitors in the final.
Okay.
If I get a direct Bananas versus Wes final, just lay me down in a bed of roses and allow me to enjoy what I'm about to witness.
Yeah.
Oh, just like there could be fire and like stabbings going on near me. I'll be zoned in. I'm gonna be zoned in. This is what I want to see right now. Is those 2. But those are the only 2 circumstances. If he doesn't get to a final, I know he can't go home yet. He's got to go out. He's got to win. But I understand the kid. I think is.
I get it. He's becoming a dad. I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
But I will be very upset if his last season isn't the flagship. And I'm curious if other people feel the same way.
Well, there's other people recently, Leroy, who was like, I'm not doing this again. And then they gave him money. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll come back and do it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe when the kid's 5, we'll see him pop back up with that majestic beard.
Leroy's retiring. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
You know who I want to retire?
Oh, yes, please.
Sebastian. I'm out.
Oh.
Out on Sebastian.
What did it?
The nail in the coffin for me.
Uh-huh.
The man is a cuck.
I knew you were going to say that. I wrote down, is Mixie going to call him a cuck?
I
wrote that down.
Is a cuck, and I hate it. Are you really going to... Not only... Okay, you don't want to get mad at Tori for not sharing the information she has. Fine. Okay, bigger person, good for you. But to say it's hot and it turns you on, you're a cuck. You're a fucking cuck. Go sit in the corner and watch Tori get banged by another guy. You're a fucking cuck. I don't like it at all. And then for him to go to the elimination and be like, who put balls on me? Dude, fuck you. Get out of here. Are you kidding me? Oh, Tori and I stayed back from the bar because we wanted to have a alone time. Fuck off.
No, she didn't want to go, and you're like, I'm going to stay.
That's 100% what happened. And then he's like, okay, well, maybe Baby Hulk will get super fucked up, and he can fuck Tori, and I can watch.
Oh.
He's a cuck? I hated that. My blood boiled when he said that shit. Are you fucking kidding me?
I knew it. I knew you were going to say something about that. I just knew it. I heard it. I rewound it. I go, oh, Mixie's for sure going to call him a cuck, right? Like, 1,000% she's got to do that. Why would she not?
I was trying so hard to not judge him, being like, I find your personality very, 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 very attractive. And then the mullet, and then the one-liners every couple episodes. I'm like, this guy. And then he fucking just throws it all in the air and goes, hey, I'm a cuck. Oh, it made me so mad.
That's about right. That's about right.
Is Sebastian a cuck, everyone? Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, the YouTube comment this week, is he a cuck? There are going to be so many yeses, I feel. And for those of you who do not know what that means, Google away.
In incognito.
There you go. That was what I was going to say.
You don't want that history.
Yeah, and maybe if you're Googling it, incognito, and then also turn on safe search.
The full term is a cuckold, if that helps.
No, don't do that one either. That one's probably worse results.
Yeah.
Yeah. Worse results there.
Made me mad. You like Sebastian?
I'm indifferent on Sebastian at this point. He hasn't done enough for me to be like, I don't like this guy. But he hasn't done enough for me to be like, I like this guy. You know? Listen, I get it. He's around Tori. Tori's a beautiful person. And he's like, why am I not going to make a run at this? Like, she's clearly like doing that. And I listen, I can see a situation if I'm in a similar situation on a show like that and the girl, and the girl I like is staying back, why am I going to the club? She's right there. Mm-hmm. How dare you?
Sorry, I'm just something
That's
in
different.
the air.
I didn't say it was hot that she didn't give me stuff. That's very different.
That's fair.
Be around the person I like.
That's fair.
If that's the thing that I'm finding the most joy in this show from, then yeah, why would I do that? Also, first time we're seeing them kiss, right? So
maybe. I don't know.
So.
I don't think I've ever been less interested in a showmance than this.
She had a Instagram video this week that I think she was at Johnny's like boxing studio opening in Florida, and Sebastian was there. Like he was in the video. Like she was showing, and I saw Sebastian, and I messaged her. I go, soft launch.
I will freak out if Tori is dating this cuck.
And let me pull up her exact reply because she loves the right reality. I believe the exact reply here was nothing to launch.
great. Thank God. Okay. She probably
It
saw
said,
that episode and was
"Ha ha,
like,
LOL, no launch, nothing to launch. Ha heart hand emojis and a crying face. Crying laughing
she probably
face.
saw that one little clip of him in his ITM and was like, nah.
Yeah, God damn it.
That is the major ick right there. That's the definition of ick. Ugh.
Back to the daily.
Yes.
We basically ended up with a situation where some crazy circumstances took place where it came down between Bananas, understandably, and Josh. Didn't see this coming.
Well, Josh needed 3 other people to get in that position. So
Facts.
asterisks. It's giving Sarah. Continue.
Oh, you're so right. It is. Wow. And it ends up being Tori wins and Bananas wins. And I'm sure everybody from Survivor and Big Brother are like, hey, you know what we should have done?
No, they don't even think that, though. This doesn't even cross their brain, though.
I know. They're like, oh, there's too many Survivor people left. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Both of them said it. The Survivor people were like, yeah, we got to dwindle those Big Brother numbers. I'm like, there's 3 of them. And the Big Brother people are like, hey, we got to get rid of those Survivor people. It's Survivor Strong. And I'm like, there's challenge people in this game. There's Wes and Bananas are left. Not people who haven't won. It's not Corey and Fessel left and Josh. People who haven't won. You're worried about them?
The icing on the fucking cake was Tori's ITM later. Do you know what I'm about to bring up?
I don't think so until you maybe say it and I go, oh, yeah.
She says, and I quote, when people are good at the game and they get to the final, they'll probably beat you. Like your ex-fiance that you keep protecting and then who keeps beating you at finals? Like World Championship that just happened that you lost because you fucking protected your ex-fiance who's one of the best people that's ever played this game.
In fairness, he had a good partner that time. The last time they won because he was with Anissa. So as long as he doesn't have a good partner.
But you still, the irony of her saying you can't bring good people to the final and then taking Alyssa and putting Alyssa's name on there.
Yeah. No, you're 1,000% correct. They had this discussion about, she's like, you can't do that, but right now feels too early. And I was like,
it's episode 8, girl.
You can do it now. Like, we don't always know when we're going to start a final. And if it's men versus women, like maybe 5 and 5, maybe that's what we're going with, 4 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to see any of those. And if I feel as strong as Tori does, I think, about that, I feel like Tori could go in against anybody in an elimination and win.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to go in to try to protect that, but I think this was the opportunity to put in Michaela again with Chanel or Desi, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And just go, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
It's
right?
a win-win, honestly.
You get one of them out.
Yeah. I think Michaela is good. I think that the fact that Bananas is trying to link up with her, Tori's trying to link up with her, I think part of it is because she was able to rally the troops early and get both of them into elimination. I think that that's a big part of it. I think that she's good and we're just not really seeing a lot of it. Just by the way that they're aligning with her. Also, my favorite part of the episode, I think, was when she was talking strategy with Tori and Bananas outside. Everyone else is all stressed out, and they're getting in there, and they're, like, whispering to each other and trying to figure it out. And she's just sitting there eating food, standing there with a big bowl of food, just shoveling it in. She's like, uh-huh. Yeah, that's a good play. Uh-huh. Yeah. It was amazing.
It's like Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11, just constantly eating whenever he's on camera. I like it.
Amazing. I loved it.
I want to talk to you about one of the things that obviously here, the number one, we see everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know this. Everybody knows this. We see everything. We see better than anybody else. We're so good at seeing. We see the best. There was a point where Alyssa and Tyler's names came up on the yellow balls on the thing. And our guy Corey, knowing he wanted to feed the number one some content this week, was like, let's put these together. And not only did he put them together like, oh, because they're kissing. He put them right on the wall. And in the middle of the wall, there was a large, skinny cylinder.
There was.
That happened to be protecting the wires that ran something in that. And I go, Corey, big props. Trying to create a little something there for the right reality. Little balls and a little peen from Corey there. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I like Corey a lot this season.
I've only heard about his kids once. And
I
that
know.
is helping a lot.
And I think that's why I like him so much this season.
Let me tell you, whenever we hear about his kids, he gone. He gonna be gone. He gonna be gone. Also, they keep me guessing. Where was Monty's story this week? Non-existent.
Maybe he doesn't have a good enough one. Maybe he just like is living his bachelor life in an apartment in like downtown Nashville. Lives a good life. Doesn't have anything.
I think, you know what? His story was that he looked up to Tyler because Tyler was on the season before him and he modeled his game on Big Brother after Tyler. That's it. That was his story, boys and girls. That's what he got. You didn't have like a girl Cassidy, like a dead sister with some dead like nieces and nephews or whatever the situation was, right?
Yeah.
Like he was just like, I like my guy. I modeled my game after him. They're like, it's same type of thing. Put
Yeah,
that in there.
that'll do it. Check that off the box. Yeah.
Also, I if I'm Cassidy and I watch that episode back, I'd be like, could we have not come up with something else? Something that's not like a 12 on the horror scale of like bad things.
They also like really condensed it too. It was like really sad but really pressed together, and it was just like, damn, I just got hit in the face with depression, and then it just all of a sudden we're moving on.
We're on daily.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. TJ. Hey. We jumping around in some mud? What are we doing?
I will say, give some credit back to Alyssa. The idea of going after the cuckold to put up against Tyler was great. She didn't rally enough troops, but the bunny's going to do what the bunny's going to do.
Yeah.
And we got Monty in the sand with Tyler. I had a feeling this was happening pretty much as soon as Monty was talking about how he looks up to Tyler and Tyler's name got put on that board. I was like, okay, two buddies down in the sand. Here we go.
I'm starting to think the challengers at some point are going to have to whittle away some survivors because once the Big Brother people are gone, the survivor people are going to go, we got to get those challengers out. Mm-hmm. But is there enough of them? Like Sebastian who's the male survivor people left? Sebastian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the rest are Big Brother and vets.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what a dumb thing yet again they've done on this show.
Well, I'm sure that Tori's has something to do with it. She's like, oh, why don't we keep him another week? He wants to watch me get banged by Fessy. I promised him we'd do it.
I told him.
I put a good little chair in the corner for him. I got nice lotion. Anyways.
I love how he was like, oh, we have a webcam date. This is my first webcam date. And she's like, I've done that before. I was like, yeah, you have, girl.
We've all seen it.
Yeah, you have, girl. Good for you.
She's also fixed the plumbing with the manual back in the day, too. I remember that.
What a
handyman.
She's good television. She is good television.
She is good television. I'm 50-50.
I know,
Still,
yeah.
I bounce back and forth. Her not hard launching a cuckold has put points in my book. I will give her that. Yeah, we're at 60-40. I'll give her 60-40. 60-40.
Nice. Keep that going.
This elimination was great to watch. I do want to just a little asterisk. Tori and Bananas coming in matching outfits. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. 20 out of 10.
want it, need it all of the time.
I was like, are they matching? And then I was like, amazing.
Amazing.
What a great moment.
Amazing. You know, they're just like, fuck it. Who gives a shit? Let's fuck around. And I love that. You would have been even better is if they had figured out what Mr. TJ was going to wear and they showed up dressed like Mr. TJ. Next time. Note it. Clock it. Next time.
Halloween costume, anyone?
Halloween. That elimination was so intense. The time that passed on it. I mean, I could always tell if eliminations were long when you started seeing people like squatting in the background or sitting or kind of like leaning on each other. People were full blown just like on the floor towards the end of that.
This might be the first time in a while where TJ explains the elimination. And I go, oh no. Like, you just knew right away. I was like, oh no, that's they no. I would just be like, can I just go now? Mm-hmm. I don't want to do this. This seems like how one of them did not give up is beyond me.
I'm sure that they were encouraging each other to keep going with it. Honestly, I'm sure at one point, like Monty's balls fell for the 8th time, and I was like, "Keep going," and they just kept doing it for each other. I mean, I'm sure that they had those balls stacked perfectly more times than they showed us.
Had to be. I love Mr. TJ is like, it's anybody's game. It's like, yeah, because they keep falling. TJ,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know what would have been a worse position to be in that elimination and just constant for 3 hours or be one of the people who had to watch that and you're just there watching it for 3 hours.
Yeah.
They both seem equally miserable, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I feel like that was probably really difficult for Alyssa because she was so invested in both of them. I mean, that might have been like mentally exhausting.
How Alyssa did not end up in the hospital after this is beyond me. For exhaustion.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that they tried so many different strategies, too, of trying to keep those balls on there. There wasn't an explanation that was clear of, like, you have to put a ball, like, you have to grab a ball, go all the way back and put it on top. Yeah. I would have immediately just grabbed them all and gotten them, like, to the edge and
of
not, yeah, like I'm sure there was rules where he was like only, grab a few amount of balls. I mean, Tyler was put them in his mouth.
I think at first they were probably like, you can only do one at a time. And then after an hour and a half, they're like, so as many as you want.
Yep.
We got to go to sleep. We're running out of tape here on the cameras.
Yeah. I mean, what happens with cameramen at that point, right? Like, what if they hit their amount of hours for the day?
Oh, great point. Great point. I think they're off that whole day until the elimination, so I don't think it...
Oh, okay. So they've got 8 to 10 hours to...
Well, also think about the fact that after they do that, like, they got to break down all the gear and stuff like that, and then get out of there, turn all... Like, the people get back to the house, but then they probably have to let the crew get back, the second crew to get back to film them coming back in the house. I just want to see how the production goes, honestly.
I do,
it's just
too.
So
badly. So badly.
Invite us, you cowards.
It was really cool to see them just crawling through the sand, and I personally thoroughly enjoyed Tyler crawling ass in the air being this week's...
All right.
Ass of the week. Ass of the week. Of the week.
Wow. An elimination ass of the week. You love to see it.
You do love to see it. The cherry on top, or the cherries, 2 of them together.
Or the peaches on top.
Peaches and cream, because I creamed my pants looking at his ass.
Amazing.
What a good episode.
What a good episode. What a great episode of the challenge. And you know what? We're not done here, boys and girls. We have another episode that we're about to recap right now. Because, yeah, this is a double episode.
Double episode.
Double episode. You might
Double
think
episode.
you were just getting 1, but you're getting 2 right here. So, if you're watching on YouTube, watch this. You ready? On 3, 2, 1.
What?
Oh, look at that. Oh, my goodness. I just wanted to put something new on. You know, Mixie, you changed up your fit. We just did magic for you guys.
New fit, new lighting, same cuck. We are recapping episode 9 of the Challenge USA Enemy of the State.
Yeah, we've moved on to episode 9 now. Mm-hmm. And this, honestly, while a good episode, I don't know about you, Mixie, I felt like I watched an hour and 45-minute episode.
I am going to agree. First slight snoozer of this season for me. It felt like it dragged a little bit. A lot of information about people I do not care about. And, but, you know, I'm happy with the end result. A cuck got cucked, and he is no longer with us, and I'm okay with that at this point.
I feel like he got cucked twice, because you said last week, what if, like, Fessel and, like, Tori end up somewhere, and they were I was like, oh, they're gonna cuck him good.
That's why he was, like, so horned up that entire episode.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And he was, like, featured a lot, and he started talking a lot. I was like, this is strange. She's hasn't said a lot for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, good on the editors. I thought Tori might go at the beginning. She talked about her nieces and nephews and money and a children's book she's writing. And then we also got the Chris FaceTime to the wife with the baby, cute-ass baby.
That might be one of the cutest babies I've ever seen on television in my life.
Absolutely beautiful child.
I literally wrote down, oh, sorry, Chris, you're going home, but at least you have a cute-ass wife and an even more adorable baby to go home to.
Yes, I also wrote something similar. I was like, okay, at least his baby is fucking cute as hell. Mm-hmm. But, you know, they got us. They got us good. There was nothing in there that made me think that Sebastian was going to go. I honestly didn't even think he was going to get pulled from the hopper. Or I'm sorry, the bunny.
There you go. The bunny proved once again. Also, for the second week in a row, TJ going, I said it only needed one. And Sebastian, you're coming down. You can't do that every week, Mr. TJ. I love you to death, sir. I love how you handle. I love how you scream next to bodies of water. But you just can't go to the same line every week and then be like, but none of that matters. It's the guy with the most votes. Well,
Stephen, you know that was none of that was said at that time.
Oh, you think that was a repeat?
Oh, God, yeah. You know what they showed? They showed the ball rolling out of the bunny in the back of his head from a wide, walking up to Cassidy and Chris while all of that audio happened. That is 100%. I bet if you played it side by side, it'd be the exact same audio.
I'm not going to do that. I don't want to invest the time into doing that. So stop trying to make me do extra editing. How dare you?
Not you. Anybody else in their free time could go figure that out. I'm telling you, not real. You know, Mr. TJ did a lot this episode. He carried a lot. He did an impressive impression of Jake from State Farm in that fit.
Yeah.
They showed him and I was like, what is he wearing? Why is he answering phone calls about car insurance? What is going on?
Yeah, where's Patrick Mahomes right next to him? Also being like, I want to get that insurance deal that you're giving to everybody else is a good deal because it's just my deal. He's like, no, we give this deal to everybody else. By the way, State Farm is my insurance, but they do not sponsor this podcast, so
no free promo.
No free promo. Also, I'm pretty sure that there was a brand deal in this episode. We will talk about it later, and I'm pretty sure the brand pulled out last minute, heyo, and they were not able to change what they had scheduled, okay?
Interesting. Okay.
So, please remind me if I forget to bring that up later.
Oh, I will.
I'm pretty sure that happens, so stay tuned for that, boys and girls. But let's roll all the way back to the beginning of this episode. Somehow we have gone through, episode 9 now here, Mixie, right?
Yes, with worst title yet.
Just if we're going to go back to the USA titles, you need to do that from the beginning. This is how we do things, boys and girls. You don't just all of a sudden in the middle of the season just go, oh, well, now they're single individual players, so we're just going to change up our naming structure of episodes. No, you don't. You get to do that. That is not fair to us.
No.
And again, a direct attack at us.
I always feel directly attacked. I do. This whole beginning part of, I think Alyssa said like, oh, they keep coming for Big Brother. What are you doing about that situation? Because it seems nothing.
What can she do, though? What can a beautiful woman like Alyssa do other than manifest, Mixie? How dare you?
I haven't heard her manifest yet, and that might be the problem. Why hasn't she manifest? She has the power to do that.
I didn't even think about that before I opened my big, fat, dumb mouth. I'm sorry. God,
maybe she could manifest. Maybe she did manifest and we didn't see it. Maybe she sat in her room and manifest a survivor on Survivor elimination, and that's why we finally got one.
I think that's definitely what happened because there's no other way it could have gone down. She clearly finally looked in the mirror after Tyler was like, you're hot. She goes, really? He goes, you know what you could do? And she goes, what? And he goes, you can manifest. And she goes, oh my God, I've always wanted to manifest, but I needed someone to tell me that I was hot.
Yeah.
Because as we know, the right reality was the first person to bring this to the public's mind that you have to be hot to manifest. She manifested this whole thing. I'm so glad we figured this out.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was all her and good for her on that. I am happy it happened. It needed to happen. We finally got a Survivor elimination. Cassidy got out of it somehow, which we'll get to later. This daily, I want to talk about the daily.
Okay, let's talk about the daily.
It seemed like we threw the towel in on this daily.
I want you to, I feel like you said something and I just want to make sure I'm going to dig this earbud right into my ear. Say it again.
It feels like we threw the towel in.
Yeah, I think the first time you said seems like, this time you went with feels like, but I don't think you need to use any of those words. I think you can say, we definitely threw the towel in on these things. And I'm not that mad about it because sometimes you do need great equalizers for the people who are just very strong physical competitors and stuff like that. And that's why we have swimming stuff, because half the people can't swim.
Yeah.
But yes, this I felt was, sometimes when you just like, I mean, if all else fails, we just have them jump on a trampoline and look at numbers. And somebody was like, after a few too many tequila shots, they're like, fucking great idea. Can hold on. Are they going to add the numbers together? They're like, yeah, can we give them tiny chalkboards? Of course. What else would we give them?
I was very surprised that there wasn't more strategy in this section, because clearly they all had the same number. So I'm shocked that that information wasn't passed along to others. The people that ended up in the second heat, or whatever the fuck we want to call it, surprised me, to say the least.
Don't get me started, Mixie, on the fact that everyone had the same GD numbers, but yet we're going to go, oh, we've evened out your trampolines for your height. So we've gone through the extra steps of making sure that everyone's fair when it comes to their trampolines for this part.
Yeah,
But everyone's numbers are going to be the same.
Yep.
Everyone's numbers are going to be the same. And it would be fine if you couldn't look at somebody else's numbers. But you know what? You could definitely look at everybody else's numbers.
And Fessy, Baby Hulk, was doing everything he could to look at everybody's boards when he ran up. Every time. Run the tape back. Baby Hulk at no point made eye contact with Mr. TJ. He was left, right, trying to look at what everybody else had written down.
I just didn't. Didn't mind the daily from a concept, but
execution weak.
There you go. execution week. Yeah, just give me something. Why couldn't everybody else have different numbers? Like, there's a producer telling, well, not in this case because Mr. TJ knew the magic number 91, who could have just been in his ear like, yeah, that one's good. Yep,
yeah,
Fessel's, yours is good. This is no, that one's not good. What's the big deal? It made the beginning part of that just feel like so just not important. And honestly, why not just have more people jump at the flags?
I agree. Well, that was my thought too. Like, just get rid of that whole first part and just have people jump at the flags, or do like a trivia or like a short little thing. The trampoline to see the number was giving me like summer camp.
Oh, I was going jazzercise or a step class.
Yes, but like the clusterfuck that it was very summer camp activity-esque.
It was almost a little All-Star Shore-esque, if you will.
It was, but then that they would have been fucked up, which would have made it better. But I felt like that first half was unnecessary, especially because they had all of the flags. It's not like they had to reset for the trampoline flag jump part. They had them all hanging and just drove the truck on different parts of the road. So in my mind, we just do a second half of the road and set up more flags. It just didn't make sense to me.
No, but that's, we had a really good daily last week.
Yeah, we did.
And so, like, we did say at the beginning of last week's episode, which is technically this week's episode, is the show still good? And we agreed that it was. This week, I still agree it was good. But they tried to trick me with that daily to be like, we heard you last week. This is the point where you usually give up, so you're probably not paying attention to this week's episode. We're just trying to like complete an episode and get the train moving. You
know what they did, Stephen? I figured it out, especially because of the elimination. They had like a what is it when you like a marketing research group or something where you're like
focus group?
Yes. They had a focus group, but with like 17 to 20-year-olds that love TikTok. And then they planned things around that. Like the trampoline thing is kind of like Mr. Beast vibes. I don't know. It was very like young YouTube viral video. The ball bouncing thing was very TikTok. I think Sebastian even said it reminded him of TikTok.
Oh, it was. Yeah, that's definitely a trick shot. Yeah.
So it was just very interesting to me. Like that was kind of the theme of this week, was like young people games.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense whatsoever. And as I said earlier, I understand that you can't have them all like that.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure last week we said too, Michaela, Desi, and Chanel, they haven't really been performing all that well. And only one of them got through to the second round.
Yep.
And that person shit the bed entirely. Before we do that, since we're talking about the daily,
yes,
I would like you to give me your favorite part of the daily from the second part based off these three options, because the second part of the daily, I need to send it a thank you card.
Yeah, it was great.
I need to tell it how much I appreciated it, because it was fantastic. It was so amazing. I was like, I think the only option is to give it a thank you card. That's the only way that I can get my point across.
Okay.
So, Mixie, I'm going to give you these three options. Actually, there's four options of amazing things that happened in the second part of the daily. And then I want you to tell me what your favorite was, okay?
Okay.
Number one, Tori getting absolutely bodied by that trampoline.
Now, this was a chef's kiss part of this episode. The slow-mo was amazing. Was it my favorite part? No. But was it this week?
No way!
Pass of the week. Of the week. The slow-mo butt jiggle that gave me was everything.
I thought it might have been Michelle just a little bit later where they unnecessarily held on her shot until she turned all the way around to the camera and showed her ass to the camera. I thought that might have been it.
I appreciated it, but the reverb of that rocking that Tori's body got that went through her ass and we watched it in slow-mo was unstoppable.
That was good. It was good. Okay, that was number 1. Tori getting bodied, which also gives us an ass of the week.
Yes.
Number 2. This one is not as long of an explanation as number 1 was. It's just simply Josh jumping on a trampoline. I need a 30-minute show about Josh jumping on a trampoline, and I want it every day when I wake up, and I know my day will start great if I have that.
You are just teeing me up to say something that I think people are not going to be happy with. Fuck it, I'm saying it. Josh is terrible at this show. Why he continuously is brought back to this. The only thing I can think of is like some of his sound bites, which was one of the things he said later was my personal favorite of the night. But he is so bad at the challenge. Like, I'm just painting a general picture. He has horrible social play. He cannot win a daily by himself. He's an absolute train wreck emotionally. I guess that's why they bring him back, because
I was about to say,
do you
not understand why they cast this show?
But, like, Bananas gives good sound bites, and, like, Michelle can be emotional, but, like, they have good qualities. Like,
oh, God.
I just don't understand. And how this man won Big Brother continues to baffle me as well.
I don't know either, because But
yes, him jumping on a trampoline, guess what?
Hilarious.
He was terrible at it.
He was not great at all. So
and
that's
then
number 2.
The sounds he was making, too. I was just like, oh, my God, this
It's all
man.
part of it. All right, number 3. The editors, I'm going to spoil this. This is my favorite.
Okay.
The editors giving us a quick interview of Chanel talking about how great of a rebounder she was playing basketball her entire life, and then just her being so bad at this after just promising us the world, and then it was like a politician. It really was. She's like, I'm going to do all these great things for you. I have so much history being a rebounder and playing basketball because they're relatable skills. And then she just shits the bed and then punches the trampoline, which was my favorite part of the end. That
was genius. A beautiful edit. Seriously, I don't know who edited this episode. 12 out of 10 on the editing job here. You made this episode much more watchable than I think it would have been if somebody else had touched it. That was amazing. It was also just so funny because everyone clearly, like, they didn't really show it, but you could tell by how they talked about Michelle when she went. They were like, God, Michelle really fucking shit the bed. But they couldn't use any of that because Chanel did such a worse job. And even when she finished, everyone was like, Michelle, yeah.
Michelle's like, I came in second. Me. I'm Michelle. I did. Whoa. She's that rebound girl who's playing basketball that everybody thinks is going to win a daily every single week and is yet to do fucking shit.
Anything.
Maybe Tori outsmarted all of us by saying, well, they could potentially win. They're not winning shit right now. Tori is dominating this show.
I don't understand how this girl has not been voted in to this, like, to the element. It makes no sense how she's just
because
skating.
None of the Survivor people have been eliminated yet. We're 9 episodes in, and we went through this whole thing, and no Survivor people got eliminated.
And that's
somehow
on the vets. That's on the vets.
It's on everyone, honestly.
Well, yes,
it's on everyone's responsibility to get one in and pick one off. That's what we need to talk about.
I agree.
My God.
Okay, what's my last option?
Number 4. Number 4 is them making such a big deal in the first part about putting the trampoline at a correct height so nobody had an advantage. But then in the second part, Fessel, who is probably 2 feet taller than Sebastian, is on the same height of a trampoline and just like jumps above the line and pulls all the flags off. And we're just going to be like, oh, Fessel did such a good job. Oh, yeah, I mean, he really performed. And he was trying to be like, my strategy was like not jumping before I got there. No, your strategy was being 2 feet taller than everyone, you asshole.
Obviously, that was my favorite part. That was amazing. The strategy conversation, honestly, for me, just sent me to the moon because Baby Hulk is like impressed with himself. He went after a cuckold that has never played this game one time in their goddamn life. Josh, who, if he has more than 4 brain cells, would shock me. And he's all like, oh, I came up with this great idea. If anybody else was against him, that would have been the immediate thought. Anyways, they're just like, Josh is on a trampoline. He's like, I can jump on a trampoline. Oh my God. And Sebastian's like, oh, Tori's going to watch me do this. Look how many times I could jump on this. Like, he went against the 2 dudes that like aren't going to think that through. And then Josh is on the fucking sidelines being like, oh, that's so smart. That was so smart of him to do.
That's why he's my number 1. What a smart play by my guy Fessel. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that he's 2 feet taller than the other guy who did good, and me, an awkward baby giraffe trying to jump on a trampoline.
It was hilarious. That was easily my favorite part of this whole thing.
And then Fessy gets to like walk around the house and pretend like he did such a good job for just being taller than everybody else and adding. That's what we did this episode. This is supposed to be the motherfucking challenge.
Yeah.
And today's daily, while it looked cool jumping on the trampoline and they didn't have like a big thing behind them, they just had like the 2 safety straps on the side, which would have been really fucking cool to do, was just basically, can you jump and add, and then can you just jump? That was it. That was the only skills you needed after last week, which was like, you need to dive underground. You got to do a word search. You got to climb up. You got to set some smoke off. This week is like, can you be tall and can you jump and add?
This episode was the most Challenge USA season 1 yet.
A billion, million, bajillion %. I was like, did they remember what show they were making? They're like, oh, fuck, hold on. This is the USA?
Then we're just going to see if they can add and also use their legs at the same time. I'm sure it'll do something.
Oh, what are we going to do for an elimination? I got an idea. I got a really good idea. We bought a lot of those balls last week. How about we just make them bounce them? Have you guys been on TikTok before? There's like people who do trick shots. We're going to make them do that. Unbelievable.
Hilarious.
Let's roll a little bit further up. So which one of those are you going to pick? Is it number 4? I'm sorry.
It's number 4. It's number 4.
It's number 4.
Obviously.
If you're watching on YouTube, I want you to comment below. This is the comment for the week. Comment below. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which was your favorite moment? A is number 1 is Tori getting bodied by the trampoline, which also gave her ass of the week. So there's a bonus for that. 2 is just Josh's awkward body jumping on a trampoline and just
Josh.
Yeah, there you go. 3 was the editors setting up Chanel so perfectly, which was my favorite. And then 4 was them making a big deal about the trampoline, and then Fessel, who's 2 feet taller than everybody else, just happened to win. So
hilarious.
Those are your options. Feel free. Hotties do the same. We'd love to see you over on the YouTube. Please subscribe. Okay, let's roll back a little bit earlier. I need to, I'm going to put a photo on the screen for everybody to look at here.
Okay.
Mixie, did you happen to see when this was happening earlier, and I understand you cannot see the photo right now, there was a time where Sebastian and Tori were holding hands in bed. Did you see that? It was like 3 minutes into the show.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I need a doctor to come on this program to tell me how physically there could have been 3 hands, basically 2 of them were holding each other, and the other one was facing the same way as the one that was being held. And me just being a dumb idiot does not understand how 3 hands, 2 that are holding each other, and another one can be facing. I just looked at it and I was like, I am so puzzled by this. It makes no sense to me.
I still cannot see the picture, but
I'm working on sending it to you as we speak.
But I do remember this scene because it hurt my eyes to watch it. There was a lot of like leg entanglement and arm entanglement as well.
Yes.
So I do feel like there was a pretzel of sorts being made. I can't.
I have texted it to you now.
Oh, here we go, people.
And everybody who's been watching on YouTube clearly gets to see this. How? Just how?
No, that makes sense.
How?
No, that makes sense. So the one that's his arm. That's Tori's hand on his arm like this, right?
Okay.
And then, so she's under his arm. This is his arm. It's coming this way, actually. So she's underneath it and scooping up. So this is her hand like this.
Okay.
And then the other hand, I'm taking it away. The other hand is just like this. And then his hand is coming in doing this.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry, doing this.
But where is the other hand coming from?
He has two hands. You can tell by the nails.
I know that, but like logistically for me, is his arms also like this?
No, he has one arm around her, and the other arm is underneath her and coming up. So his other arm is this. Then she has a hand like this, and the other hand is like this underneath.
I didn't get the memo that they were indeed playing Twister in bed. That is my bad. I'm sorry.
Yes.
They clearly had right hand red, and so they were just twisted into each other. That's on me. As always, I'll learn and grow. I'll take a step back.
If I just had caught it, but my eyes were burning watching that scene, so I think I might have missed that part. I would have paused and been like, what's going on? But it does logistically make sense, although annoying.
So you claim. I still don't get it. I need like two. I don't want to say mannequins.
I'll act it out with somebody else in the office tomorrow, and I'll explain it to you. I swear that it's real. It's there's no way it's comfortable. I will agree with you on that. No chance this is a like cute little cuddly situation. That shit, his arm is dead. Her body is fully on his arm.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It was like this is no way comfortable for any of these people.
No.
Somebody is being smothered at this point, and they don't want to admit that this is not comfortable.
Yes.
And I am all about comfort in all situations.
He probably enjoys it, though, because he's like into being hurt emotionally and physically, so. Fucking weird. I mean, I'm not going to kink shame, but what the fuck? Anyways.
Okay. I have something I need to talk to you about, Mixie.
Okay.
Mixie, even though your intentions that you made move were good, I just want to let you know that it rubbed some people the wrong way. Some people are sketched out about you. Some of the way that you move is weird to me too, and that's why I'm coming for you.
I don't understand.
That is what Michaela said to Chris at the beginning of the show. She said, some of the way that you move is weird, which is definitely a Survivor line about the way you move in the game.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And she's like, that's why I'm coming to you. Hey, Michaela, quick question. What the fuck are you doing?
So I had the same thought, and then I started looking at who's left.
Exactly.
She needed something to turn on someone within her own one of 6 alliances so that she could go after them with some made-up reasoning why.
100 million bazillion %.
And what the fuck?
And that's my point. She is going around calling out Chris and being like, what are you doing? The way you move. And he's like, who's saying that? Well, some of the girls. Okay, well, there's you're here, and then there's 3 more of them.
Terrible move.
Terrible move. Michaela had a terrible episode this week.
Yes.
She made me realize I don't like her whatsoever after this. Because it was just so, the reasoning for her going up there, like she had this whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, how can I just double down on the fact that I am clearly think I'm great in this game? Let me just say something so fucking wild and crazy that people will go, what the fuck? Cue the what the fuck moment of the week.
I think Chris is playing for Chris.
I have a question.
Yes, Mixie. I say you raised your hand after the what the fuck moment of the week.
Yeah. So, who else would he be playing this game for?
Great question.
Okay.
Michaela, any thoughts on who? Oh, you don't have any thoughts. Okay. Michaela, might we ask you who you're playing your game for?
Yeah.
We'll wait. We'll just sit here.
I think I heard herself. But she didn't seem very confident in that as the answer. Maybe Survivor Strong. Maybe the Secret Garden.
Oh.
Maybe Wes for an unknown reason. Oh, I'm sorry, Bananas, because she can't trust Wes.
Yeah, she can't trust Wes. Yeah.
But, gotta get rid of Chris. Sketchy.
Yeah.
Don't like the way he's moving. Only thinks about himself in this game where he would be winning money for himself. How dare he?
How dare he think about his wife, an adorable baby?
And then, as if she didn't do enough in the beginning of this episode, she then goes and stirs the pot with Michelle.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying about her. She lost me this entire episode. I'm completely
It wasn't a good call.
Out on Michaela.
Yeah.
At the end of her saying all this thing, I think Chris is playing for Chris. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I wonder who he would be playing for. Cassidy? Infuriating. She then goes, like her whole justification for this, by the way, she goes, I can see a couple steps ahead and see where the problems are. And I'm trying to resolve those. Anybody have an idea what those problems are? You know what?
Doesn't matter. She can see him. You can't.
She can see him. She's got some sort of psychic in her ear telling her where the problems are. And you know what? That psychic is me and Mixie. Because we figured it out. Because really, if you think about it, it's not all too hard. She sat there and went, okay, there's two Big Brother people left. Alyssa S. and Tyler. Okay. They're going to go by the wayside. Okay, there are 6 vets. We got Bananas, Corey, Baby Hulk, Josh, Tori, Wes. There's 6. There's 7 of us right now.
Yep.
Cassidy, Chanel, Chris, Desi, Michaela, Michelle, and Sebastian. That's 7. In her head, she goes, well, if Chris is closer with the vets, which, by the way, if you want to come back on the show and do good, I would suggest you do.
Yeah,
If we've learned anything about this show, it's that.
Yeah, it's a smart
She
play.
goes, well, if he votes with the other side, it's 7 versus 6. So let's just step the fuck back, Michaela, and call it what it is. Hey, we just want to make sure you're voting with us and you're Survivor Strong. As a matter of fact, I don't think he's been Survivor Strong for the moment he stepped in there. Because I don't see any of you motherfuckers wanting to talk to him at all.
Yeah.
At no point have I ever seen him hanging out with you guys or you trying to make an effort to bring him into things, into the Secret Garden. He wasn't there.
Yeah.
At what point have you oh, well, it was the other teams. It didn't matter when it was other teams because you were on 18 alliances. So now when it's beneficial to you, you're like, people don't like the way you move.
He also, I would like to remind everybody, went after the 2 Big Brother guys, stuck his neck out. Also, he came up with that whole idea to throw it so that, what the fuck? But, he's only looking out for himself. What an
But he's
idiot.
only looking out for himself. Yeah. By the way, also, Michaela, it doesn't fucking matter because he's one of 2 guys on your Survivor team.
Yeah.
And you know how many men there are left that are vets? Basically all of them.
I think that this Secret Garden was expecting other people to go within their secret garden, and they've made such a, quote, tight alliance that the biggest spider is outside. Anyways, that thing is horrifying. I'm sorry. Sorry. I don't even remember what I was saying.
They expected other people from the alliance to go, but they didn't.
Yes, and they didn't go. So now they're like trying to scramble to get rid of other people. They made their girl alliance way too big, and it's fucking them.
And they didn't have any men on their alliance, which would help them because it's a guy or girl week. And when you have to throw in names to try to get men to vote a certain way or ladies to vote a certain way, it's almost like they haven't played this fucking game before, but they're so convinced that they're great at it. And then the vets are just going, this is what we always say. You guys think you're so smart. And then who's there at the end? All of us. Because you don't know what you're doing. You're not playing Survivor. You're not playing Big Brother. You're playing the motherfucking challenge, baby. You're playing the challenge, baby.
You know, one of my favorite parts of this episode was when Baby Hulk had to throw Chris in, and how he just so nonchalantly was like, yeah, man, that's the game.
Wait, you missed a very important part of that.
Well, was it when he tried to say that he wanted to put Wes or bananas in and that whole thing? Because that was ridiculous.
That was ridiculous, but it was also correct. It was absolutely correct.
Was, but like, he's like,
you missed your opportunity.
Yeah.
You missed your opportunity. You should have done it the other time when your team kept winning, and you could have tried to get those people out. But at this point, it's too late, because it's always too late. And you always say you're going to do it, and guess what? Nobody fucking does it.
Yeah.
Nobody does it. I thought you were going to say the way he told him was hilarious, at least for me. I love how we have different perspectives on this. Was he nonchalantly did it with like an entire plate full of food in his fucking mouth?
Yeah. Again, with the people eating while important things are going on.
I had no choice. And bananas dying. Dying. Oh, sorry, man. Just fucking game. Baby Hulk.
It was incredible. It was incredible from Baby Hulk. Did you catch what happened when Cassidy was told that she was going in?
Mixie, you think I don't see a nip slip when it happens? Get the fuck out of here. Who do you think you're talking to?
The boob blur was, again, an ode to All-Star Shore, and it was very nice. They tried to hide it. They did not.
They tried to color it the same color. It did not work out too well.
Nope.
I will also say, as of this recording, we have watched the first episode of All-Star Shore. And if you like nip slips, you're in for a big treat in the first episode.
A tease to All-Star Shore.
It's coming soon, baby. It's coming soon. Yeah, poor Cassidy was just like you couldn't turn to like a security camera. Like the videographer couldn't be
or an older clip when she was at the mirror.
Down. Yeah, let me just
come
a little bit further down on my shot. That was all for him. He's like, yeah, right.
Yeah,
there.
Absolutely, it was. I don't feel that bad for Cassidy though, because she gets lucky every time.
Is this 2 or 3 times now?
I mean, I don't know. I've lost count, but she has yet to actually do anything.
Yeah. Well, that's the same, thing for all the Survivor women at this point, other than Desi, who had to go in. Yeah. Michaela, who got to lean back and forth on a fucking pole.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get there. Okay. One of the other things I wanted to mention before we get to the elimination, was that later when they were at the club, as if Michaela wasn't like, have I said enough stuff to piss people off this week and just show how insane I am?
Yeah.
Michaela, once Sebastian went on this drunk idea of trying to get Corey out.
Idiot.
You're going to say it to Tori?
Yeah. He's such a cuck. He's such a cuck. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, I know that's a vulgar word, but like, you searched the word cuck in the dictionary and it's his fucking face. I've never in my life seen more of a cuck in my life. Sorry, continue.
He just reminds me of like a poor guy in high school who was just so infatuated with this girl he's got a crush on.
That's out of his league.
I mean, she seems interested. Let's be honest. She seems interested.
She's got only a few options. She fucks Fessy again. Her career's over.
It's kind of true. But as everybody was saying, it helps you pass the time in the house. So, if you got to get a little love on and you'd be like, hey, it's just summer love. It's summer camp. It's whatever. Anywho, Michaela was like, as he's going around trying to tell these people, oh, we should do that. She goes, we all don't have to vote for the same person. We don't have to do that. Meanwhile, they all voted for the same person. They all later voted for the same person. And you've been doing that the entire season. So just say what you mean. Just say, hey, we don't want to do that. Okay? We're going to do our thing. You can say that, and you can end up fucking yourself big time, but we ain't doing that over here.
I will say for Michaela, and the reason I'm not going to just like jump on the I don't like her train, she's playing very smart. Is it logical? No, but she's playing very smart. She's able to rally a lot of people. And in the same way that Sebastian's trying to, in the same way that Chris is trying to, but they can't do it like she can.
Well,
so I'll give her the credit there. Do I agree with some of her moves? No. Was this Chris thing just an absolute shot in the fucking dark? Absolutely. But she is able to rally people and get people to do it, again, from the edit that we're seeing, without it really being caught on by other people. I think Bananas knows it. I think Wes knows it, that she's a big threat. They've been talking about it. Outside of those two, no one's really looking at her as a problem.
I would like to take the credit back from her that you just gave her, because they were already an alliance before they showed up. What did she have to do other than just say, hey, we're going to vote this way? And they're like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. She's like, good talk.
But she's kind of like the mastermind behind it. Yes, they were already in a group, but she's kind of kept that group together, and they haven't really turned on each other other than Tiffany, who should have gotten kicked out of that alliance right away, but eventually was beat in elimination.
Or when they didn't have Cassidy in the group full of everybody in Survivor except that one person. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, I don't get the love. Plus, by saying that, we're also not giving Desi any credit.
But I think I think she's also being very smart, but she's not being so forthcoming with it.
Desi learned from last year, because I think Desi was like doing what Michaela is doing this year. Like, oh, I need to make all these moves. And what you learn, and we're seeing from the vets, is you don't need to make the moves. People are going to make the moves. It's how you move based off the mood. And that's why she kept talking about how Chris moves. I figured it out again. God,
there we go.
So many things out on this.
Got to the bottom of it. We go to the elimination where balls are involved. There's so many balls this season. I feel like the final is going to have, like, you know how they like do callbacks to other things? It's just going to be different balls. The whole final is just going to be balls. Balls, throwing balls, picking up balls, carrying big heavy balls from one place to another. The hopper is balls. I mean, it's balls. It's Ball City.
That's right. It's a theme. It should be the Challenge USA. Balls
and all.
Oh! Great idea.
You're welcome. Again, with the free ideas. Nothing was funnier to me than somebody randomly voting for Bananas. 12 out of 10. I laughed audibly when that came up.
Was it Fessel?
Probably.
I do wish they would show us at the end, like, who voted for who. I want to see that. But
it would
I
be
understand
nice.
why they didn't do that.
Maybe it'll come up in the reunion. Well, it'll be like, remember when Bananas got one vote? This is who did it. The elimination.
Are we going to pass by the hour of Chris and Sebastian drama in the house? Because I would really like to pass by all that.
Yeah, I'm passing by that. That was a waste.
What an absolute waste. And just Phil, that's where I got. So I was like, yeah, he fucked up. Everybody bearing him. He doesn't know what to do. Like, he's trying something. It didn't work. But all these people, oh, you're doing this. Happens all the time in these houses. Like,
yeah.
Whatever. It was a nothing burger.
I agree with you. They clearly had to fill They're showing flashbacks of him talking to Cassidy and then talking to Michaela. Nobody fucking cares. I was happy that Corey caught Sebastian in a lie. I was a fan of that situation because I do not like him. But other than that whole thing was that was the snooze of the episode for sure.
At the end now, looking back, I realized that is having to set up everything else in the next week or the next 2 weeks of him trying to figure out where he can go in the house and why people are going to say they can't trust him, because if they didn't show that, it makes perfect sense. It worked perfectly for the edit they were giving us.
Well,
that he was going to go home, but I think this is going to next week, he's got to jump onto the vets team now, right?
Well, Wes made a comment. Wes was like, I think it was before Chris won. He was like, I'd like to see Chris come back. I think he could be a number for me. I think it'd be smart for the vets to take Chris in. He's clearly very calculated and bright. I mean, Michaela was making fun of him for making sure everything was lined up and shit, and when it was clearly the smart move. Sebastian's moving things he doesn't need to be moving.
That was weird. So we're now at the point where I realized there was a brand deal that got 86th last minute.
Oh, yes.
So here's what happened. So confident in this. I've never been more confident in anything else.
I'm going to sit back and listen.
There's a little YouTube channel that is a huge YouTube channel. And it's called Dude Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And all they do is trick shots. And I firmly believe, with no factual evidence whatsoever, that this was a brand deal for Dude Perfect. They're like, oh, we got to get all those young kids who like Dude Perfect to watch the challenge. Let's do some bouncy things. And I sat there, as I saw, I go, excuse me, what is this elimination?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna bounce the balls that we had left over from last week that we just stacked up on a pyramid, which was awful, by the way.
Balls for alls.
The week before that, we're tossing the balls into a net. What the fuck, man? This is not the challenge.
Agreed.
Like last year, we had some better eliminations. Now, they were working in teams, so they could be a little bit more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to call the show the challenge, get these people in a fucking pole wrestle in the middle.
Yep.
Give me all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to come in just like our good friend fucking Sarah did and be like, they won this. No, you played a fucking watered down version of the challenge.
Yep.
Okay? There was no hall brawl in that season. I don't think there was a pole wrestle. There was no balls in. There was none of that bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any of those great eliminations. And now we're getting, so you're going to here's what you're going to do. We have the balls left over from last week. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. We paid for the balls. Let's use the balls. So what they're going to do first, they got to do three. They got to go bounce, 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 and in. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, how? That's not exciting. We're going to have an extra container in the middle. You guys ready? And when the ball goes in, there's going to be a firebomb that goes off from it.
Random explosions. It's back, baby.
You don't need to tell me anything else. But wait, guys, it gets much better. It gets much better. After the three, you think, oh, they're done. No, we're going to have two more panels, and they're going to be sideways. You guys watch Ninja Warrior? You know, the sideways things that they jump on? They're going to have to bounce it off all five. Now, I know it's possible because I watched that Dude Perfect thing. They're very interesting. My son loves them. And guess what? When it goes in, it'll be met with no fanfare other than a bomb going off in the middle. Great idea, man. Sign it up. Put it on the board. Get the Post-it notes out.
It's the 12-year-old on TikTok. Oh. I'm telling you. It's like, I love Dude Perfect. We should do a collab with them.
Hey, Dad, can you make a challenge? I know you make the challenges on the challenge sheet elimination. Watch this TikTok. Watch this. This guy bounced it off 6 things.
Daddy, I want a squirrel. I don't want any squirrel. I want that squirrel. That's what it is.
It just has to be a concerned effort. I have to believe at this point that they are not having those eliminations on this version of the show. And that to me is just the
sad.
One thing I don't think anybody is really talking about is that we're putting that show on CBS, and we're watering it down a bit when it comes to the eliminations. The dailies have been great.
Yep.
Dailies have been about the same. But then we get to the eliminations, which should be epic and should be great to try to get people to watch the flagship and the other versions. And we're just not giving them, like, that couldn't have been exciting for CBS to see that edit and go, this is what you gave us? Like,
Yeah. I agree with you. I didn't love it, but you know what I did love? Cuck Boy's gone. See ya.
bye.
See ya.
Bye. Tori's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Tori doesn't give a two shits and a fuck, which I love. And then that was the end of the episode. So
It was. That was.
it was not great. It was
No.
an ode to season 1 that we did not need.
No, we need to throw all that away now. We need to reset. We need to focus going into next week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Next week is episode 10, right?
Yeah, so I think that we're getting close to the final here.
Gotta be getting close.
They also have to be forcing a women's elimination next episode, right?
Undoubtedly, if not a double elimination, right?
Yeah, there's gotta be. We gotta cut some chicks.
I'm gonna do something. Do we have anything else you want to talk about while I do?
Well, yes. There is a
okay.
major thing that's happening in the right reality world. All-Star Shore is back, baby! And as Steven said, we've got the screener. We've already seen episode 1. Guys, it's the gift that continues to give. You will not be disappointed. I am telling you right now, set your DVRs, save it on Paramount Plus, wherever you can watch it. Get ready. We are obviously recapping the party games. You have to check out The Right Reality for all of the recaps. I actually cannot wait. We are putting so much extra work on our plate to do this, and I don't care because it's the greatest reality competition show. I said it. It is. It's the greatest one that we've seen in a while. I was actually talking to a friend of mine about like old Flava Flav and like how the girls used to spit on each other and like scream at each other and
They
shit.
did do that.
This is the energy. It's in All-Star Shore. You don't get it anymore. It's there. The cast is great. We got Snooki is the MC of it now because Pauly D did last season. Fantastic. Cannot suggest it enough. We will be recapping it. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're checking us out. Make sure you are watching All-Star Shore, guys. I would not lead you astray. It is 100% worth it. And we will be back with recaps.
We will be back. We'll be doing all of the recaps. It is so much fun to have All-Star Shore back. I know you guys want to talk about season 39 of the challenge. We don't have time. We just mentally cannot get through that. And honestly, I have a 30-minute rant I could probably get into, and I don't want to do that.
We're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that.
We're not sure what we're doing with the challenge yet. What we do know is we're finishing what we started, and we are 100% doing All-Star Shore. We will follow up at a later date. If you guys want to start paying us, and we can quit our fucking jobs, then yeah, I would love to.
I mean, we tried to give you delicious liquid IV, and like 5 of you got it, or however many got it. We thank you for that.
Code air horns. You can still use it. You can still prove us wrong. Listen, we're going to do our best, but we are not going to promise anything at this moment.
I would have been more excited to do it.
No, Steven. No,
if
Steven.
you
No,
fuckers
Steven.
didn't decide, oh, let's put some of the vets in there that have won, even though we're calling this Quest for a New Champion.
No,
Pieces
Steven.
of shit.
Not now. Not now. We are on a high of All-Star Shore. We're not going to get into this. We will discuss it at a later date.
Okay. If you are listening to this show and you're still listening at this point and you're like, I'm not going to watch All-Star Shore, let me just tell you. I hate you, but that's not the no. I'm sorry. No, I love you. I'm sorry. Please just watch for the last 7 to 8 minutes of the show.
It's a great first episode, guys. I can't stress it enough.
If you just watch the first episode, and if the last 7 to 8 minutes don't sell you on the show,
then it's not the show for you.
It's not the show for you, but it's definitely the show for us.
You're going to love it. I guarantee it.
We love you guys. Thanks for sticking through this giant episode. We appreciate you. We'll see you soon. Use code airhorns at checkout. Liquidiv.com. Okay, bye.
Bye.